It's a proven fact. Plans ought not to be made because it feels like anytime I think I have structure, a plan in place, things that will work out well, life throws the curveball and says, "Nah, that don't work for me, brother." And so, with that, Brandon was going to come over. I invited Josiah. We were all going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1, the recent video game release, or the most recent Mortal Kombat video game release. And Brandon and I had already talked it over. We were going to have this freeze frame lead up to the video game fight scene, and Josiah was going to pop in, and he was going to say how hey, we're not needing to freeze because we're not playing Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch because there's so much of a lag time for the game to start for some reason that doesn't make any sense to me because we're in the modern age. But as I said, plans are made to be broken, and so Josiah can't make it, Brandon can't make it, it's just going to be me. After that open rolls, I will talk about Mortal Kombat 1. Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular here at Mr. Super Oz, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy. One of the biggest assets that I wanted to utilize from having all three of us together was the fact that I have bought, played, and only have an opinion on the Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1. And Brandon and Josiah, they both, they got the high quality H2O. They've got the top of the line models of video game home entertainment systems. And so my hope was that we could all pass along different experiences. But like I said, people get short-staffed at work, things come up, and we can't get together. So this review will be solely about my experience with the Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1. And the fact is, while the storyline is interesting and is a great follow-up to the Mortal Kombat 11 storyline and subsequently the aftermath continuation of the storyline from Mortal Kombat 11, which was DLC. The thing about it is, once I finished the story, which is also in and of itself is funny because that is a common reoccurring phrase within pro wrestling right now, finish the story. But when I finished the story with Mortal Kombat 1, I felt as though the game was very lacking. I mean, the story itself, fun. It was entertaining for the duration of time that it lasted. I just think that I would have been happier with more story, like how Mortal Kombat 11 released additional storyline beats with the DLC, not just new characters. Because, yes, there are additional characters coming. Peacemaker is still on the way, Homelander is still on the way. But the to me, and the few DLC that have already released, like Quan Chi and Omni Man, what really is the replayability with the little bit of options you have? It feels not very substantive, and especially on the Switch, the the game feels as though it ought not to have been released on the Switch due to how so much of it lags. I've literally had characters blend within other characters while having a fight, and it's not like it's a power; it's just a glitch. Um, one of the things I find super frustrating about just trying to play and enjoy the game is I really liked the concept of Jean Claude Van Damme being a skin for Johnny Cage. However, in execution, it's not good because Jean Claude Van Damme is shirtless, but you can still see the outline on his chest of where the prior model or the original model should be wearing or does have a shirt on. It's just so many weird little visual quirks within the execution of the Switch. Like I said, the bleeding into characters when you're fighting. There are times when I play as Reptile where like his entire reptile form will just break apart basically. And there are far too many mess ups for the Switch version, in my opinion, to be worthy of purchase, and with that, being worthy of play. And so, for the first time in channel history, a game gets a don't play. But I will say this, the more I thought about it, I do want to retool the concept just a little. Now, Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch does get a don't play, but going forward, I'm going to add a third tier. So it'll be play, don't play, or buy to keep playing. Because, the option is available to, let's say, rent or to, just borrow it from a friend. So playing doesn't necessarily mean buy, but I think there are some things that are such high quality that you're going to want to have it forever. I know I feel that way about certain things, especially physical media. And with that, I'm going to add in the future the third tier of play, don't play, or buy, which is like top tier when it comes to games. But yeah, I think that here's another thing. So I definitely want to hang out with Josiah or Brandon or somebody with a good modern console that's not a Switch to play the game, just to see the differences between what I have and wish I hadn't have spent high dollar amounts on and what they have, and to see what the big contrast is, because obviously Switch has had and continues to have some hiccups. Some things are knocked straight out the park, but in the case of Mortal Kombat and other games, Switch really needs to understand the times to say yes and the times to say no. And for me, Oz from the channel Mr. Super Oz, the answer for if you should play Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch is nah, don't play it. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry that the boys weren't here, and given schedules and colds and weather and all kinds of things, I think that it'll be a while before we all get together again. So thank you for tuning in. Come back next week and enjoy.